everybody, I'm Tara.
I'm Elijah.
From Crooked Row, and today we are going to show you how we string up our tomatoes, but before we do that, we also want to discuss some epic failures on our part, right Elijah?
Yeah, it's sad.
So it's sad but true, huh?
It's very sad.
Because we actually put a lot of work into this area and none of our corn has come up. Actually, out of the hundreds that we planted, two did. Two corn.
We don't even know if it's corn, because it might be grass.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show you here's our epic failure. And there in this area, there is no corn. And in that area over there, there's two. The rest is just weeds that are popping up. So sometimes you win some, you lose some, and this is one of those times we lost, right?
Yeah, this was a big loss.
It was a huge loss. And so the reason why I'm showing it to you too is because we're gonna look at either planting a quick growing corn that I'm gonna have to order, or this will go to like green beans or something that's just we have time for now at this point. I mean, we're at the end of June, so we still technically could probably fit in like an early corn, even though it's late in the season. They're usually about 70 days, so we could eke one out. We just have to think of how bad we want corn, right?
Yeah.
There might be something we want worse. So Elijah and I will have to discuss that. So today we're gonna head over to our tomato cage. So let's get over there. Okay, we are now here in our tomato cage. And if you're wondering, let me just show you really quickly. So the garden is, so we talk about this in parts. So as you can see back there is the greenhouse. And then right over there where my finger is pointing is what we call the salad bowl. You see the teepee that we made. In the center of the garden is the potatoes. And then over on this side we have orchard in the very back, berries right there. That is the corn where we just were. Here is the raised beds, the tall raised beds. This area right next to the one we're in is what we call the cage. And right now, this is the new tomato cage that we made so that the animals can't get in it and peck all of our tomatoes. And all of this is right next to where our cow cream is. So I just wanted to give you an update of where we were. So currently we have beautiful, nice tomato plants growing. Lots of blossoms on them all the way down this row and all the way down this row. And then in that salad bowl portion over here, the whole salad bowl outside is all tomatoes. And so as they start to climb, we could interweave them here on this cattle panel. The reason why we don't is because, one, I want these to be able to have some wiggle room, especially once it has weight on it. And sometimes I've experienced in the past where this metal will actually create an opening in the tomato plant or like rub it raw. And so I don't want those vines rubbed raw, because then it can introduce disease. So what is the fix for this? Here's my fix. Okay, so I purchased this from Amazon, and it's really like for sowing, and it will probably only last one season. I have used this for a few years now. It works beautifully on tomatoes, and we have, I mean, last year I think we had almost 1,000 pounds of tomatoes, which is a bit much. We scaled back this year. But so this is very stretchy. As you can see, I'm just stretching this all over the place. And so here's what I'm going to want to do. Depending on how much give you want. So if you have staked them, or they're up against a fence, or you just want to get a stake and like drive it in next to them, you can use this to actually help alleviate some of the weight and pressure when it starts producing. So Elijah cut right here. So all I do, and this is just for stability, all I do is I come in and I tie this to a section. I tied it, and I'm going to go ahead and double knot it, because you'll just clip these off. And then you can do this 2 ways. Okay, so I did the same string, the same stretchy string, only I put a clip on each. I tied a clip to each end, and then that way I can do this. So I will still use, if you can see, I will still use this cattle panel. So I'm going to clip it onto the cattle panel and then come down here and clip it onto the plant underneath a vine. So if you look, I have a clip here, there's the string for movement for the vine, and a clip here. So that is actually what Elijah is working on next to me, and we're going to go all through this cage and do that. This can clip to the plant, and this can clip to your stake or your fence or your trellis or whatever you're trying to get this. And it's not that you want it tied tight, like you tie tight a tree or something. We want this elastic give so that the plant can kind of sway. It makes your stem stronger if it can still sway in the wind. But you don't want it super loose either, like this, because then there's no point to doing this at all. So there is a happy medium where the plant can kind of sway and has support all at the same time. Okay, this is my nephew Jaron.
Oh.
And Jaron is gonna help us make these. We had to cut this project a little bit short because we ran out of the clips, and this is another thing with kind of gardening with kids is I had thousands of clips and they're nowhere to be found. So, but in all fairness, I think that like my smallest 7-year-old son, I think that he likes to use them as necklaces.
Yeah, he made a gigantic necklace and was wearing it for a day.
Yeah. And doesn't he, Elijah, like he tries to make like chicken leashes and stuff out of them. So,
that's right.
So he definitely probably has used this for some sort of project, right?
Yeah.
But we did finish the largest part of the tomatoes. There's just like 15 tomato plants left. Actually, we have about half left to do. I want to point out that the double clip on the stretchy is so much smarter because a lot of times like that down at the bottom, that will grow thick and be so substantial, and you don't really need anything down there that you do right now, like at the stage that they're at. So I love the clip on both sides because instead of cutting more string and making more, we can just move those to, I mean, you can always make more, but we can just move those two up the plant as they're needed. And especially like where they choose to set fruit and all of that. Now, I will be honest, some of the fruit sets, we can put on the elastic, but like the paste tomatoes, the little cherry bumblebee tomatoes that we eat, we can do that with all of those. We can use the stretchy string. But the brandy wines that are like, I mean, they say they get up to a pound. We've had 2-pounders for sure, haven't we?
Definitely. They're
Just
like this
huge.
big.
There was one a couple years ago, maybe we'll find the picture for it. It was like as big as my son's head. Like it was just
Didn't we
ginormous.
use it for the tomato pie video?
Maybe.
I think we did.
We'll have to look into it though. And so on those, I will utilize maybe a little stronger string, or just where they're setting fruit. Now last year we let them set fruit naturally, like we didn't support those fruit, and they were fine. So sometimes your plant is just strong enough. This is just a good fix in case they're not. And so if you're finding that there was one plant last year where the fruit set was and the main stem started to split off, and so that's what we're trying to prevent. We're alleviating weight, but we're also, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think most of the country this year has had a ton of storms, and really strong storms, so this also helps like kind of keep them grounded. It's just a really smart habit to kind of get into. If you're staking yours, sometimes even that's not enough, or they'll blow off or just whatever. So sometimes it's just an added support that you can utilize. It's quick, it's easy. You can also use it year after year. Like we used those clips last year, and so we will use them like for however long they last. Actually, I think this is our 3rd year of using them, isn't it?
I thought it was 4th, maybe it's 3rd, yeah.
Yeah. 3rd or 4th year of using those clips. So you can just get those, pick those up on Amazon. They're called tomato clips. So I did try single stemming for about 3 or 4 years, and I didn't notice a big difference. We have tons of space here, so single stemming makes sense for people who don't have a lot of space, because it makes your plant focus production on like one branch or one piece of the vine. For us though, I feel like this was more work than we needed to add to ourselves, and I almost feel like it caused our plants to be weaker. So this year we have big healthy root systems and all of this, so we'll just bring you along. We'll bring you along with what we're going to end up doing in the corn rows too, because you saw that has not turned out for us. So we've sort of had a little bit of a busy week too. You can tell I'm tired.
And nobody helps us really in the garden. It's just me and her.
And it's just like a ½ acre garden. It's a lot of work, a lot of weeding. Like this is one small pile right there of our weeding. And we've got like tons of these. And so while we do have a little bit of help with weeding, a little bit, because my older son helps us and my 2 little kids help us, it's mainly me and Elijah. We definitely plant everything, we water everything. It's us for sure. So it is a lot to maintain. This is a ½ acre. I hope we get to putting something in the corn rows, you know. And so we'll see. We're trying not to take it all so seriously, but it kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like it feels like, oh, we have to get something that's a wasted ground. But we'll see what we come up with. If you guys have any suggestions for us, let us know in the comments below. It's the end of June, or yeah, it's the end of June, so it would be really helpful for something that's quick. We've talked about maybe even putting in beets, because those are quick, or maybe just waiting a few weeks and help do the fall garden in there. So we will see what we're doing in the coming weeks, and we'll let you know. We'll keep you guys abreast of everything that we're doing, but I hope that you are securing your tomatoes. So remember guys, if we can stabilize our tomato plants, anybody can. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.